What's going on, boys, girls, and slimes? Drop them snakes in the chat as soon as y'all get in here. How's everybody doing tonight? It's March 14th, Saturday. So it looks like them walls might be closing in on D4VD. Remember how I made a video the other day how they were subpoenaing everybody close to him or everybody they thought was involved to court because they were looking for somebody that was going to talk, somebody that was going to crack under pressure, because what's better than an eyewitness that was there that can tell the whole story, right or wrong? But it looks like the pressure has gotten to Neo. Let's see what evidence they got over here. So TMZ seems to be covering it. Neo calls singer a dickhead. Claims he knows a lot. So now remember, he was just arrested because he didn't go to court, to the grand jury a couple weeks ago. Now he's coming out. This was yesterday, on Friday the 13th, saying all this. So, according to TMZ, D4VD's good friend Neo is a friend no more. At least the way it seems based on how he is privately torching the singer. Neo, as you know, was arrested last month for failing to appear before a grand jury in the apparent unalive of Celeste Rivas, and David is the prime suspect. Y'all look pretty close to me. Anyways, Neo, who appeared before the grand jury for only 40 minutes, clearly did not offer much info, but now he says he knows a lot. So I guess accordingly, he was tweeting this out on his Instagram yesterday, but he was only, see this star right here? That means only your close friends can read it. Well, this is what he said. Thankfully, I'm legally fine in every way, and boy, do I got all my receipts for things. Ha 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 ha. With the evil laugh. This case is gonna get ugly, y'all. According to Neo's private Instagram post, posted Friday and shared via close friends, he says, thankfully, I'm legally fine in every way. And boy, do I got my receipts for things. Ha 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 ha. See, this is what the grand jury wanted more than anybody. Somebody that was there, allegedly, that's gonna turn and tell them every damn thing that happened. You either get life for conspiracy, or you either say something and you get less time for conspiracy. Either or, you're gonna go. So it don't take much to get these guys to crack. It's not like they live by some type of code or something. And then the 23-year-old streamer drops the hammer. I told so many people that I trust, and I knew me as a person, my side of things. All for that to be thrown out the effing window as soon as I get arrested and they slap that dickhead's name next to mine. Shit. Look, it's sloppier and sloppier. This dude D4VD done told a handful of people. He's saying he done told a handful of people. So he says again, he makes another tweet. I think the worst part is that I've told so many people that I trust and thought, this is what he just said, knew me as a person, my side of things. All for that to be thrown out the effing window as soon as I get arrested and they slap that man's name next to mine. And for the record, the thing I was arrested for, I wasn't even charged. They never filed it, and my warrant wasn't retracted because there is no more to the story. That's what's on the news. Now, I want to stop him here real quick. I don't really understand this tweet. You was arrested, if you're talking about what happened last month, for failing to appear near the grand jury. If they arrested you and they brought you in there and you ended up doing what they asked you, then of course there's not going to be no warrants and no charges against you. At least till this case is finished. At least. Thank you for the sub, brother. I appreciate it. Connell. I was wondering if my alerts was working also, so thank you, buddy. What's crazy is like everything's happening that we could have called it from the beginning. But anyways, let's go. He goes on, and for the record, he's just digging himself deeper saying all this stuff without the lawyer. But the lawyer ends up stepping in next. And for the record, the thing I was arrested for, I wasn't even charged. They never filed it in my warrant. Yeah, what, not an appearance of court? You ended up going. TMZ broke the story. Law enforcement sources say D4VD took what they believe is a mysterious middle of the night drive from LA. So they're still bringing this up in the story. So it must be really convenient. So he took a middle of the night drive from LA to a remote area of Santa Barbara in the spring of 2025, months before Reva's body was found in the trunk of D4V Tesla's near his LA home. We were told D4VD was accompanied by another person. They were online rumors it was Neo. After Reva's body was found, Neo scrubbed his Instagram of any sign of D4VD. Sounds pretty guilty to me. But let's let the court decide. That's pretty crazy because was she alive then or was she not? And was it just him and Neo? And was these the pictures that's on his album cover? And the ones he uploaded on his Instagram that he took on his camera with the 14 on the rock and the high backwards. Just a question. You don't see Celeste actually. But this is the day he left court. Neo's lawyer told TMZ Neo played no part in the heinous crime and he continues to be wrongfully persecuted in the court of public opinion. So they ended up releasing one more about maybe 30 minutes ago, TMZ, and it's, I guess, Neo made another tweet, so TMZ covered it. David's friend Neo, I'm done talking about this case. They added their own context and everything. All Neo did was make this little tweet, which we're going to check it out on the Reddit thread because they took it out of context a little bit. And also they didn't show because Neo deleted it after. His lawyer also said something on his account that we're going to read what his lawyer said. But this is what TMZ got to say about the whole thing and that drive. Let's give it a quick listen. Figures.
Places and people for just $34.
Come on, man.
There was a big development.
Sorry about that, guys.
Very close in the spring of last year. It's been smeared on social media and the court of public opinion. One of the reasons the lawyer was saying that is we broke this story that in the spring of last year, David took a mysterious trip, at least that's the way authorities characterize it, mysterious trip from LA to Santa Barbara in the middle of the night.
What's going on, Nina?
Of Santa Barbara. And somebody else was in the car with him. There were a lot of people who were speculating that it was Neo who was in the car, and there was talk, rumors,
that Celeste may have been in that car as well, although we have...
I also want to add, and I was also going to say this afterwards. What's going on, Nina? I see you. Neo's acting so innocent, but like they're saying, who'd he drive there with? Not only that, do y'all remember Steve Fisher, the private investigator, how he said before D4VD went on tour bus, him and another person brought the car up the street, and then they jumped on the tour bus? Well, it really, I believe, was another person that brought the car up the street. I doubt it was the female, but you never know. But allegedly, that's what Steve Fisher said too. So I don't know how innocent Neo is. They also saying that how, like, allegedly how the body was dismembered, it's going to take more than somebody that's David's weight and size. It's going to take more muscle, more strength to dismember how it was dismembered, you know? Which is pretty graphic and pretty sick, yeah.
Absolutely no knowledge of that. This was swirling around social media. Her body was found in the trunk of David's Tesla in front of his LA house in early September. So,
and I could be wrong. Maybe it's not Neo. Maybe it's somebody else, allegedly.
Is what happened between Neo and David? Something clearly happened. And based on what we know, this may be somewhat of a surprise to David that this happened. I can't say more than that, but this may have caught David off guard that Neo has broken this way. And I think it's significant that whatever Neo was involved in, he says nothing. He says he knows a lot about it. He says he knows a lot more that was in the news, and what has been in the news is a lot. And he's saying he knows a lot more. So it seems like he is just waving this in front of David. But something has happened between the two. In the meantime, we know that the grand jury had been meeting. They were supposed to meet this week. They did not. So we don't know if the grand jury has completed its investigation.
Oh yeah, David's cooked. Imagine what his best friend Neo knows, y'all. If he was telling his fans and putting it out in his music and stuff like that, allegedly. Taking pictures on his camera he had in the house. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of these people want to go down for him. So let's go to this. This is called D4VD Idiots. It's the Reddit thread. And they're just 4 hours ago, Neo speaks publicly. I guess they screenshotted all his tweets on Instagram before he got to delete it and stuff like that. We'll check this out. So Neo, this is where he says, me and my lawyer were actually planning on making a statement soon, but obviously now is as best of time since TMZ decided to leave out the actual full statement. Here you go. So this is his lawyer. I personally believe he was coming out saying a little bit too much. Should have let TMZ do its speculation. But they were pretty much speculating on what you was tweeting and doing. And now your lawyer has to come out and clear it up. But let's read it. My client, Mr. Langston, will not make any public statements at this time. He said enough. As the investigation is ongoing, what I can share is that since returning to Los Angeles, Mr. Langston has fully cooperated with law enforcement and will continue to assist the prosecution as needed. As the investigation continues, it will become clear that Mr. Langston played no part in this heinous crime, and that he continues to be wrongfully persecuted in the court of public opinion, resulting in unwarranted and belligerent harassment directed towards my client and his family. We sincerely hope that justice is ultimately served for the victim and her family. at Shockley Law. Now, lawyers are very slick and stuff with their words, too. Remember that. When he says my client wasn't involved in no heinous crimes, that might mean he ain't do nothing to the body, but it don't mean he ain't take a car up the street. You know what I'm saying? That's how lawyers talk. But anyways, not saying that's what happened, but keep that in mind. So what happened after that? So Neo, before the lawyer said that, Neo said that I understand due to my silence and the silence in general, it leaves a void of information that everyone wants to fill. But at the end of the day, this case isn't about me. It's about you. It's about getting justice for the victim and her family. And I care a lot more about that than trying to fill the void because of public opinion. Wasn't doing my part at first, but now I am. You see how everything changed before? Like the lawyer got in his head. Now it's justice for Celeste, this and that. Not what I got over your head, David, and all this BS. But even Steve Fisher gets at him. Watch, we're going to check that out after this. The private investigator. So he's saying, wasn't doing my part at first, but now I am. Yeah. I've stayed loyal to my mindset and I will continue to. I'm not publicly going to give any opinion or emotion about this case. You already did, brother. Because I find it disrespectful and not my place to weigh in on it, especially as it's still ongoing. I'm not going to spam posts to justify and perform my feelings and thoughts for the internet, trying to satisfy people who have already made up their minds about me. It's time the record will speak for itself and I'm moving on with my life. So he posted that in this about 30 minutes ago after he done said all that stuff TMZ done posted. That he got all these receipts on David and all that stuff. Which ain't good for both of y'all when y'all go into court in front of the grand jury. Let your lawyer talk. Y'all guys posted and said enough out here. How is this the Reddit? How is D4VD's family feeling safe having him in the house? I would be scared to have someone like David living with me. That's crazy. Between him unaliving his underage girlfriend, doing horrific things to her body, how are they scared, paranoid by having him around? If I was his sibling, guess it's family. I don't know. Never been in that. Neo leaves Cali because people like him, somebody said, so effing happy I'm moving out of this effing ass state. Sick of the drama. Sick of the F people. Sick of the shitty ass status culture where people care more about money and clout. The basic level of human connection. I hate to say it. Well, no I don't, but wasn't this man just on the side of David in every picture? Flexing, you know, all these weird clothes and hugging and doing all this stuff in pictures. Oh, here's what Steve Fisher said. What do you guys think, chat? Do you think Neo is innocent? Taking in mind that the investigators are saying that there had to be more than one people involved for the amount of damage that was done. Like, it's going to take more than one person, muscle-wise, weight-wise, and strength-wise to do the dismembering and all that. Not to mention the private investigator said he seen with his eyes the camera that somebody moved the car up the street. And it wasn't David. So that's automatically co-conspiracy. That's the person you're going to want to talk to get to tell. Because they're not going to want to go to jail for driving a car up the street. And it allegedly might be Neo. And that's why he said that they could say the lawyers, yeah, no heinous crimes. But yeah, he took the car up the street maybe. Let's see. So here's the thing, Neo. This is the private investigator. He's been on the case since day one. Gave us more than the LAPD. If you have to tell my side of things, that means you were involved in the things. Ooh, you just want everyone to believe you did less of the things. Ooh, people who weren't involved don't have a my side of things. And how tone deaf are you exactly? Your Weep For Me post has 11 references to you and not one single mention of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who is dead. She's dead because of the things you're trying to explain away. Now, y'all remember what I just said, that his lawyer probably corrected him because he made all those posts yesterday about he having stuff over David's head and he's not guilty, his side of things, like Steve's saying. But you ain't said justice to Celeste once or nothing. Till a few minutes ago. But anyways, now he goes, she's dead because of the things you're trying to explain away. Nobody cares about your feelings, Neo. This is about Celeste and justice in her name. I gotta say, that's a hell of a tweet right there from Steve, and he hit it right on the nail. He made it. He had to go get his lawyer to tweet for him. Possible arrest this month, 21 hours ago. At the end of the TMC video about Neo and his post, he said they were supposed to meet this week and they didn't, and that could possibly mean that the grand jury has finished and made a decision for the arrest. The fact that Neo made a post today out of all these days and months he had the opportunity to, stating that he also has receipts, proof, makes me think it may have concluded today or this week. I think it's close too. If he's coming out and saying he got receipts and proof, I think it's close too. Especially if someone gave him the go-ahead to speak on the publicity after months of silence from everyone. I don't know. What do you guys think? He should have never said nothing, I think, because that's why Steve Fisher's saying this now. His lawyer said that. Somebody said this song is still fire. Somebody said, what? When the lyrics tell a story, still fire. What? David even commented on it. Cool. What? How you doing today? Together we break chains. How's MJ? What's going on, Nina? Long time no see. What's up, chat? We in here like swimwear, baby. Exactly. Ain't nobody gonna go down for D4VD. And like I'm saying, how is Neo gonna act like he's this big innocent man when it was just pictures leaked of you at the table with D4VD? Celeste's cell phone on the table. Remember that? And y'all guys had beers and shit around the table. Come on now. Nice. My daughter likes that game too. So look, Neo's going at him. What's he so upset about? Tommy Burke, dude. What was this, a fake David or something? Looks like a real good fake. He keeps commenting, okay. This is getting crazy and crazy, y'all. Somebody said, I think he's going to exit the universe. Nah, cool. He needs to own up to his actions. How selfish that would be, especially to his little sister. Nah, I think he's gonna self-exit the universe. What you mean? You finally getting arrested today? By a Tommy Burke. I don't think that's him. We know an autopsy of her remains was completed several months ago, and a toxicology report has also more than likely completed for a while. I remember back when the reports were muddy, sources claiming she wasn't dismembered. I remember that. A lot of people were theorizing that Celeste died of an overdose. Incredibly unlikely. It seemed like the police were just waiting for the toxicology report, i.e., it's possible that me couldn't pinpoint any visible trauma to her body. We know Celeste was severely decomposed with insects beginning their process in the frunk. Ain't that sick, y'all? Not to be too graphic, but they found her dismembered in 2 bags, guys. Her head and her torso and her legs in 2 different black bags. You can't be all there to do something like that. Then you keep it in your trunk? That's insane. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, and then they also were like, exactly. Well, we probably gonna find out from Neo soon. He says he got a lot of receipts and a lot of proof. They probably like, you don't tell us what you seen or what happened, we're gonna throw you under the bus. You know what they'll do? They'll probably use, allegedly, like Steve Fisher said, for example, he looked at the cameras in the house and he could see who drove the car up the street, the last person. So allegedly, we all know she was in there right before they went on tour, allegedly. They could, if that was Neo or whoever that was, they're going to show him that tape. Listen, we got you, the last person, driving this Tesla with her in it up the street. If you don't tell us what happened, you're going to be charged with the last person with this body. And they're going to, like that, they're going to say what happened. And then that's going to be solid evidence for the courtroom. Because they probably never said that till now. You notice, like I was saying in the beginning, they subpoenaed everybody to court. The girl, if you don't go to court, we're gonna come get you. You get a warrant. Neo, even D4VD's mom and dad who are out of state. Neo actually got arrested because he didn't go to court. Which already told people, does he know something? Why didn't you go? They went to his house and got him. And he's talking about my record went away, la la la. Yeah, because you went to court. But anyways, you see the coincidence now? They went and picked him up at his house. You're subpoenaed to court. Now all of a sudden he's yelling at David, calling him a dickhead, and he got these receipts and proof. So that's like I was saying in my last video, I'm pretty sure they just looking for somebody that can tell them what happened and seen it. Because they know, like they said before, that it wasn't a one-person job. And there wasn't only one person there. So, okay, let's try to get one of these people to crack. It's not like they're all brothers or they're all gang members where they got a code. No. They're all sweethearts. I got the same Labubu actually as D4VD. MJ got Labubus. It's a real one too. $70 Labubu. Yeah. Alright, gang, I'm out of here. To the next update. No, that's crazy. That's what my niece said. I got it from my niece. I said, oh, let me get this. She said, oh, that thing's evil. She's like 9 years old. I said, what do you know about evil? She said, yeah, them things are demons. I lit her a little boo-boo. She's like, them things are evil. She's 9 years old. Oh, shit, I heard